I would like for men who are constantly bringing up false allegations to distract from when women are talking about things that have actually happened to us or our very valid fear for things that are extremely likely to happen to us, to take a look in the fucking mirror and leave women alone.
That's a mic drop right there. I encourage you to check out Veronica's video. She does an amazing job of debunking this idea that men must grapple with false rape accusations by women all the time. The stats are very readily available, but men apparently don't know how to use Google. But what this video really got me thinking about is this bigger problem of just not believing women. And I think this is an especially pertinent conversation to have, given that we've been seeing the news of the poor woman who got struck in the head with a brick because she refused to give a man her phone number. And a bunch of men just stood around and did nothing. And after all that, men's reactions are, well, what isn't she telling us? And let's go on her social media and see if she really deserved it. Or I'm sure there's something she left out of the story. And it's this kind of attitude that continues to contribute to our oppression and the maintenance of the patriarchy. And we're going to talk about just how deeply rooted this is and the impact it has. So we have a history in this country of not treating women like autonomous human beings, right? So women couldn't open their own bank accounts or have their own credit cards, for example, unless their husband, daddy signed off. And we've been called hysterical and literally legally lobotomized, all because we expressed anxiety or depression at the fact that we had to live under husband, daddy's thumb. We've been held prisoner in our own homes, shackled to children and social expectations that were determined by a bunch of old white dudes who saw women as nothing more than sex dolls and maids and incubators and punching bags. And throughout this sordid history and still today, we are told that we're not reliable narrators of our own stories. Let that sink in. We're told we're overreacting, we take everything too seriously, we make everything about sexism and identity, and we're told this by Republicans and men's rights activists and online misogynist trolls, you name it. And the idea that women would falsely accuse men of rape is just another log to toss into the fire of not believing women. Because women are crazy, right? They'll lie, they'll try to ruin your life. And that's why they need to be controlled. If they get pregnant with your kid, better take abortion away so you can make sure that they're tied to you for life. And then they'll have a much harder time graduating school or getting that job or climbing the corporate ladder, which is exactly what men want. Because men create the conditions that necessitate needing them to provide. Otherwise, when we don't need that, we don't want them because they aren't developing the emotional intelligence skills needed to cultivate good relationships. And when these mythical women falsely accuse men of rape, it's just further proof that they're natural manipulators. Even God said it was true from the beginning with Eve and the snake. So you better make sure you control your female's social media and who she hangs out with and when and where she goes and what she's wearing and who she talks to. Otherwise, she's just going to use you for your money and then take off with the next guy and leave you looking like a fool. And there's nothing worse for a man than looking like a fool. Because women are supposed to be the foolish ones, right? And there's no greater insult than being compared to a woman. These mythical women falsely accuse men of rape. So we shouldn't believe anything they say when it comes to SA or rape allegations, or hell, even if we literally stood by and watched them get hit with a brick in the head. Because we don't want even the slightest chance that some man's bright, bright future will be ruined. So we'll ask her to relive the whole thing, first in front of doctors, then in front of cops, then in front of a judge and a jury and a lawyer. And the lawyer will ask her, why did she choose to walk home alone that night? And did she have anything to drink? And what was she wearing? And has she ever had a one-night stand? And isn't it true that you slept with the defendant's roommate the weekend before? And is it possible that now you're just regretting your poor life decisions? Because you know women, they love to twist things and play the victim and play these little games like the vindictive little children they are. And so they need to be kept in line and managed. They can't be left to roam free and drink what they want to, when they want to, sleep with who they want to, when they want to. After all, who do they think they are? Men?